And we're back with more of Today on this Monday, and we are talking about getting back into the workforce after 50.
And if someone knows what that is like, it is me. As retirement funds and investments take a dip, more and more older Americans who are getting ready to retire are now finding themselves looking for work. Here, with a little help, we hope, are James Arthur Ray, a personal success coach and best-selling author of Harmonic Wealth, The Secret of Attracting the Life You Want, and Roy Cohen, a career strategist. And if we ever needed you guys to ride in on your steeds, it's today.
It is now.
Welcome.
And it's
It's
so tough for older Americans because they're getting back in the workforce, Roy. They're competing with young people, and they need the same job. So what's like the first thing someone should know?
Well, don't compete with a young person. Age is just a number. You focus on your skills, your qualifications, your talents, what makes you different and better. When we try to compete around age, we can't. It's a fact. We are older.
But aren't you at a disadvantage, though, if there's a person in their 30s versus you?
I don't think so.
Really?
Modern scientific research tells us we can go to at least 114. Right? So 50 is not that old.
But you got to want to.
Yeah, you do. But you need to live an inspired life. One of the things, it can be stressful. And one of the things I think we need to understand is that there's a difference between the stress you're experiencing. There's two types of stress. The stress that we normally call negative is called distress. There's an endocrinologist, Hans Selye, who coined the term eustress. Distress is from focusing on how we're older, how we're not capable, all the things that aren't happening in the economy. The negativity. Eustress is that creative tension that when we sit down and we define it specifically where we want to go, that creative tension between where we are and where we want to go.
So it's a good stress. It's good to have that kind of
I read in the paper this morning that John Voight, who plays that great role on 24 right now, added a line to it. They hardly ever do that, but as he said, stress is the fertilizer that fuels creativity.
If we can,
if you can learn to think it that way.
Sit down right now and specifically define where we want to go and what we want to create. My company just hired 4 new people, and it's amazing how many people are throwing resumes out just seeing what'll stick. It's time.
What was it about their resumes that made you want them?
They were unique, and they were going after what they really wanted. They were qualified. I think it's very important to specifically define who you are, how you're unique, what you had to contribute, and what you want to do. Not just get a paycheck. There's a difference between getting a paycheck and having a career.
If someone asks you, and I know that they're not supposed to, but if someone asks you the question, Roy, how old are you? Is that a big no-no? Do you have to answer? What should you do? I mean, in a practical sense.
Well, a very good question. The fact is that is considered a category of a legal question. However, it will get asked. Interviewers are sometimes untrained, and my approach is typically to disarm. I'm glad that you're wanting to talk about age. I feel younger. Actually, no, I qualify that. I feel more energetic and focused than ever before. I have an amazing amount of energy. I'm excited about pursuing my career. I want to work forever.
I'm old enough to know what I'm doing now.
And notice, I didn't even give a number there.
But it's about attitude. I mean, I think that's everything. Because if you walk in desperate, you're freaked out.
That's right. You know what impacts that? This is going to sound simple, but you've got to take time to get a workout. I know that sounds bizarre to me, but I don't have time to get a workout. I have to find a job.
Get rid of the bad stress by...
Right, but studies show that when you work out and you feel better physiologically, you feel better mentally, you're more creative. If Barack Obama has time to work out, so do you.
Right, it's true. No excuses.
Right.
Exactly.
And, you mentioned the attitude. That's critical to remember. You have to make sure that you believe that you want the job, you deserve the job, and you're qualified for the job. And you go into an interview really, truly believing that you're going to knock the ball out of the...
Well, because you give a vibe off. I mean, you can't help. You can't help but give a bad vibe off. You had something you were saying about being desperate and how.
Well, I think there's a big difference between acting out of inspiration and desperation.
Oh, sure.
Right? Your life will be measured by the quality of what you give, not by what you get. When you go into an interview, as Roy was saying, you need to focus upon how can I help you as an employer get what you want? How can I provide value to you? When you're in a mindset of thought, feeling, and action of how can I get a job, they're going to feel that.
Well, and you shouldn't try to look young. I think some people go in and they color their hair, but
maybe not look young, but look the best you can look.
Right.
Dramatic change is dangerous. When you dye your hair and it's a dramatically different change, dark black, and you've never had that color before, it can be really dangerous. Dressing inappropriately, although that Wonder Bra that you mentioned earlier could be a real advantage.
That's why they call it Wonder Bra, because it works wonders.
Not for me. It wouldn't work any wonders at all.
All right, guys. Well, it's all very, very good, and it's so unfair what's going on in the world out there. I mean, all these people who thought they'd worked hard, lived by the rules, ready to enjoy their, living. What's that place in Florida? The villages or something, and now they don't want to go back to work. They have to go back to work.
Right.
So we wish all the best. It's a tough, tough world
Thanks
out
to
there.
both of you.
Thanks very
James
much.
and Roy, thanks so
very
much.
much.